Hi, welcome back to Talking Insights, a production of Research World and Esomar. And as we continue this series, we're exploring the Esomar Awards winning projects that are shaping the future of research. And for today, we're talking with Matteo Cera from Glaut, the winner of the Excellence in Global Research Awards for his project AI Moderated Interviews, or AIMI, a new methodology with built-in fraud prevention. And AIMI tackles exactly this. One of the biggest challenges in digital research today, collecting high-quality insights at scale while preventing fraud. It's a very interesting project that incorporates all these new technology that everyone talks about these days with a real-world problem, fraud in research. So, to explain us all about it, here's Matteo. Welcome to the show. Matteo, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Talking Insights. First and foremost, congrats on your awards, the Excellence in Global Research Awards, and you did win this award with a project called AIMI. I want to know more about AIMI. What does it? It's a little acronym. What does it stand for? I know it's AI related. Tell me everything about the project.
What's not AI related these days, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you for inviting me to the podcast, Antonio, to meet you again. Yeah, we are very happy about this award. AIMI is an acronym for AI Moderated Interviews. We wanted to find a short name for this new type of research methodology that we pioneered in late 2023. AI moderated interview, or AIMI, is a semi-structured interview that's really an hybrid between quantitative research methods, so what people call COWI or surveys, traditional surveys, and qualitative methods like IDIs or focus groups. So it's a semi-structured interview, it's voice-based, it's multi-language, and the moderation is ran by our software, which will be able to ask questions, understand respondents' answer, and ask follow-up questions, probe them more in depth. We don't like the word qual at scale. I don't think that actually reflects what an aim is. We prefer to call it, just a higher level of depth in a quantitative type of project.
Before we started, we were talking about these acronyms, the AIMI, the COWI. Before it was called computer assistant research. I mean, obviously nowadays a big part of the research is done with computers. It's done with the assistance of computers. Do you think that in the next, 5 years, it will move from COWI to AIMI and everything will be around AI?
Our main hypothesis is that traditional surveys where you ask respondent to click an option in a predefined scale will change and evolve into a more engaging and personalized type of experience. That's really the goal, to make research more engaging and personalized, to understand better what people actually think, and not to force them into a predefined scale or a predefined set of options, which has been really researched so far. I think that so far we use the tool and the technology that we had, and therefore you see all this 50 questions long type of questionnaires of what do you think about this brand in terms of color, odor, and other maybe 10 dimensions, 1 to 5, classic Likert scale. In the future, our hypothesis that we can have a more personalized and engaging type of interview where the respondent can just state directly and naturally what they actually think about a brand or an experience. And probably this is the way that research should always have to be ran, and in the qualitative space we always use this more like natural way of expression, but we couldn't quantify that. So that's where artificial intelligence, just let's say modern software, can help in bridging the gaps between what was called quant and what was called qual, and somehow create a new type of research method where AIMI is basically the expression of it.
When I was reading the description of the project, you started in Italy, right? You had like a little controlled study in Italy, right? What were the biggest surprises or learnings from this initial study?
Yes, we do a lot of research on research. That means we sponsor research projects that are done usually from other market research firms on this new technology. The one that we published for this award was basically an A/B test between a survey that was programmed to reflect very much like mirror the same questions and the same follow-up, but in a traditional survey way. So with open-ended static questions and white empty boxes for answering, and a conversational AIMI where the software was interviewing via voice respondents and asking, probing and follow-up questions. In this case, we noticed incredible responses, so 129% more words per respondent. Words is not the greatest measure, but in that sense, we also went one step further down in terms of measuring how many more concept and themes were mentioned via voice, and we had about 20% more topics, more themes mentioned by the person responding via voice. And I think generally speaking, about 2/3 of the concepts and themes that are mentioned in AIMIs are mentioned in the follow-up questions that traditional surveys do not have. So in a traditional survey, you would have only about 1/3 of the concepts and themes that an AIMI is able to extract from a respondent. That is where the power lies.
Will you continue to expand or work on this AIMI, on this project? Where do you see it growing in the future?
There are research is full of opportunities in terms of improving the experience both for the researcher and for the respondents. On the researcher side, we are looking at helping the researchers being more in control of the different steps of research. At the moment, it seems the process is kind of broken. The researcher deals with their client, then it has a team to program the survey, it has another team to analyze the data, it has a third team to create the output, the PowerPoint, and we are trying to build an end-to-end platform where the researcher can do everything on Glaut, programming interviews, AIMIs very quickly, analyzing data in a very natural but very precise way, and creating outputs in a matter of seconds without the need of breaking down the process so much. And in terms of respondent, we're working a lot on fraud and on making, on one side, as we said before, the interview more engaging and more personalized, but on the other side, in making sure that somehow we help market research agencies in fight fraud from respondents, so people that try to speed across a research project, or even people that try to use software to respond at scale, so to basically log a lot of responses and gain a lot of incentives. I think a key is around voice, the fact that we go from a place where you have just to click buttons, which is an easy task right now with agents and so on and so forth, to a place where you actually have to respond consistently with a question. So one of the features that we are more proud of is what we call uncooperative detection, uncooperative respondent detection, which when turned on basically allows Glaut to politely exclude people that do not want to collaborate, expanding their answers and basically giving enough context and details in their answers. That is something our customers really love.
And finally, I want to ask for an advice because we have a lot of researchers listening. We have everyone from the students that just came from college to the CEOs of big companies. And some of these people are still trying to integrate AI in their workplace in a more responsible way. What's your advice for all these people that are trying to integrate AI in a more responsible way?
It's a tough question. I think there is an overwhelming amount of new software. I don't particularly like the word AI. I think that in a couple of years, finally, we will avoid using it and just talk again about software. So there are new software platforms coming out, new software solutions. I would start with the basics, and my tip is to use a very simple, let's say, analysis of what solution you have in front. AI is being used at the moment in three main ways. To ask questions, like in AIMI, to give answers, so synthetic users, synthetic data, digital twins, and all of that, and to analyze data. So these are really the three, in research, the three types of AI applied to software, applied to research that we have seen. So I would start, having this little compass in your mind, and every solution that is getting pitched to you, somehow, is this solution, creating new data? Is it used to ask a question from the researcher perspective, or is it used to analyze data? And already somehow having this little compass will help you understand a bit better the world in front of you.
That's such a great advice. Ask questions and understand the whole concept of it. I think it's a great advice. Matteo, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations again on your awards, on your projects. I'm sure we'll see each other again in
I hope so.
a conference in the near future.
I love events, so keep it, keep the good organizations of them. Prague was a beautiful event, and we had a lot of fun. So thanks for putting the enormous effort in planning and executing such good events.
Of course. Well, thank you so much, Matteo. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's all for today, folks. Talking Insights is a production of Research World and Esomar, bringing you the stories, voices, and ideas shaping the insights community around the world. If you'd like to be featured in a future episode, share your story, or learn more about sponsoring opportunities, send us an email at podcast@esomar.org. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. And join us next week for another great conversation. See ya!